Alright, so I was tagged by DanielBordenDaily for another topic. So, he wanted me to discuss polygamy. I'm strictly going to focus on Western polygamy, because and when I say Western, I mean post-industrial societies, countries like the United States, Canada, Europe, countries that are modern societies. Because if you look at horticultural societies, yeah, it might not be beneficial, but horticultural societies, societies where you're working the land with your hands, they have a whole lot of other stuff going on. But okay, Western society, polygamy. I don't want to confuse polygamy with polyandry or polyamory. Polyamory is when you have multiple partners at once. You care about them, you love them, but it's non-monogamous. As in, you have multiple partners at the same time, and all those partners are free to have as many partners as they wish, as long as all partners consent, per se. There's a lot of conversation, it's a very open situation. It's not just one person fucking around with a bunch of other people. It's everybody having the freedom to engage in multiple relationships at once. Quintessentially a web of relationships going on at once. So, that's out of the way. Polygamy, as in one male partner, multiple female partners. I don't want to step into something and say that that's completely wrong. Do I think it should be legal by law? If it's one consenting adult with multiple other consenting adults. I want to say that one person should only be able to be legally bound to one other person. A lot of it's because that makes tax purposes easier, and I think that that is overall a hurdle that needs to be jumped when our society gets to it. I would actually be interested in seeing some of the arguments that the pro-polygamy, where it's one consenting adult with multiple other consenting adults, has to say. I honestly would. So, I guess my opinion is the big matter of consent, because it's up to that group what they want their bonds to be like, and if all partners are consenting when it comes to that, then that's their own business. But, and here's the big but, in a lot of the scary situations, like Mormon compounds, LDH Church, Latter-day Saints, those scary places where you hear about children being the brides of one central creeper male individual. That's wrong. Whenever I talk about consent, first and foremost, people are of legal age. I've seen the effects of pedophilia. My ex-fiance, she was a survivor of horrible pedophilia from a very young age. She's a good person at heart, but that stuff messed her up. And I've seen the effects from friends that I grew up with. It messes people up in the head to engage in sexual behavior from a very young age when it's not consensual. And I don't care if the person's 12, I don't care if the person is 16. That's not legal age of consent. And I don't think somebody is remotely mature enough to give consent until they're around age 18. But this does vary by the person to some degree. There are a lot of 18-year-olds who are flat out fucked up in the head. And a lot of wisdom comes with age. So I guess from my perspective, when it comes to one person having multiple consenting partners who don't have other partners, with basically a tree rather than a web, I honestly don't think I know enough about it. I am I am vehemently against pedophilia. Child wives. And polygamy and polyamory are two completely different things. So, I guess my view on polygamy in the broader scope is that I don't know enough about it. From a more generalized scope, I say whatever works for the family. Because in all reality, I mean, sister wives, while it hasn't completely swayed me in the issue, you have to admit those women and that man all consent to it. And they have found balance within their family and within their situation. Would I ever want to be in a polygamous marriage? Heck no. Even if it was gay. I'm a one-woman woman. I only date one woman at a time, and I only desire to be in a committed relationship with one person at a time. So yeah, that's my very rough ideas about Western polygamy as it stands. My view of marriage, or having a legal binding contract, is that it should only be left up to one person, because I guess the main issue that I see with having multiple partners is that, okay, you got two people over here who think that the person should be on a respirator for the rest of their life. You got two people over here who say no, and you got the one person in the middle who doesn't know what they want. And that's why I would see that that would run into a lot of problems. Whereas if you only have one partner and one partner, that person goes into the hospital and winds up on the respirator, that other person knows if they want the plug pulled or not. And there's no debate about it. Simple enough. So those are my views, and I hope I was able to answer your question. Peace out.